right, guys, welcome back to Undisputed Interviews. Today's guest is 10-2 UFC lightweight prospect Evan, the Phenom Elder. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing good, buddy. Thanks for having me on. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Just graduated high school. We're all
Let's
done.
go. Congrats.
All done. All done. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to college now for broadcasting and journalism because I want to be a UFC commentator like Joe Rogan.
Heck
So
yeah.
I was like, why not? But
Well, hey, this is good practice then.
yes, sir. I've been doing it for almost a year, so I'm kind of used to it. I like it. It's cool.
Yeah, awesome, man. Well, dude, take it from me, man. If there's anything you want to do in this life, you can do it. I promise.
Yes, sir. My first question for you today is how did you get into the MMA and the UFC? Was it like a certain fight you saw? And like what made you want to become a professional MMA fighter?
My answer to that is usually always whenever I was younger, I think back to I feel like I was like 6 years old watching the fights with my stepdad actually. And he was a big UFC fan and I remember always watching the fights with him and we used to think, like, man, how crazy would that be if that's you on the screen one day,
Yeah,
And I particularly remember Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner and watching that fight and I was so captivated, and I just thought that I felt like right then and there, God put it on my heart. I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. Like, I need
yeah,
to be able to do that. So, I guess if I had to say if it was one single fight, it was probably Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner. I'm sure that was kind of the fight for a lot of people. And, the fight for the company, actually, the one that kind of
yeah.
might have been the one to save the UFC. So, yeah, ever since I was like 6 years old, man, that dream's been put in my heart and just been trying to chase it since then.
Bonner versus Griffin's one of the greatest fights in UFC history. I think you're right about it. I think it did save the company. It wasn't the company was just taking off at that point, and then that fight happened. It's
Yeah.
the reason why the
Yeah.
UFC is
Not
still alive.
only not only was it just taking off, but it was actually not really taking off. They were, millions of dollars in debt and about to
Yeah.
go on, and then during that fight, the ratings, the viewings and stuff went through the roof. And I think it really gave them the hope and the expectation of like, oh, hey, we really got something here.
Yeah, I think it's crazy that, especially Forrest Griffin, he works at the PC now, or the PI, not PI,
Mhm. Yep.
with all the fighters. So I think it's crazy that he saved the company since, and now he's helping evolve the company as well.
Yeah, man, he's one of the coolest people I've ever met in my life. Like he's a freaking legend, it's Forrest.
Yeah,
And he walks around that place like he's just, just another dude, just talks to everybody, super cool, super knowledgeable, and just super kind. He treats everybody well. So he's a huge inspiration to me. I really hope to do great things in my career and then get to transition into doing something where I get to still be around the sport and to positively impact the next generation and just anybody that I can.
yeah. For me personally, Forrest Griffin's one of my favorite fighters. I don't watch like a lot of like the old fights, but if I do, it's usually a Forrest Griffin or like a Rampage Jackson fight. Those are
Mhm.
usually my go-tos.
Yep. Heck yeah.
But your last fight you fought at Kansas City against Gage Young, short notice opponent. Your first opponent did certain situations happen. But
Yeah.
there's just some weird people in this world.
I'm not speaking on it. I don't
Yeah,
know
I don't know what
of it.
happened. I don't want
I
to
don't
try.
know either, but he wasn't there to fight. That's all I know.
Yeah. Your last fight with Gage Young, Kansas City, one of the fight of the nights. Did that fight go how you thought it was gonna go?
I really was hoping and expecting, no matter who I got in there with, that I was going to be able to get a finish.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I'd been working on my striking a lot to where I was going to be able to find the opportunities to put somebody away. So
Yeah.
that's what I was hoping for. It didn't go that way. It went to decision. Gage was as tough as nails. Nothing but love and respect for that dude. And I really think he's going to go on to do some good things. He's really young. Not a play on his last name, but he's only like 24 years old, something like that.
Yeah.
So his potential is crazy. So I think that the fight went pretty well, according to plan. I was going to keep the game plan probably pretty similar no matter who I was in there with, trying to
Mm-hmm.
use my weapons that I like the best. But, of course, the game plan would have had to have changed if Gage was more of like an elite level grappler. Maybe I would have been trying to keep more distance, been a little more weary on throwing the body kicks so they didn't get caught and I was taken down, or something like that. But but I think that me and Gage actually are very similar to one another in us both being just high level MMA fighters.
Hmm.
So we're kind of generalist, you know. We're not. It's not like if you watch us fight, I don't think you watch us and you can tell right away like, oh, this guy is a grappler or this guy's a striker. Kind of can do it all, but not elite at any of it, you know, at any one spot per se. So yeah, I think that the fight went great. I'm very happy with the way that it went. You know, lots of little things that I saw to work on and improve as always, but I'm happy with it because I think there were some little improvements, some little adjustments that are going to be made going into this next fight that will make for big differences, and definitely going to be looking to get the finish this next time.
I mean, yeah, in that fight with Gay Jong, you both hit each other with really clean combinations, really hard shots. Were you hurt? I know it definitely seemed like you were hurting Gage more with your shots than he was hurting you. Were you hurt at any point in that fight, or did you feel his shots, or were you kind of just in the zone?
Yeah, I mean there was once or twice. There was two times. There was one time he hit me with a right hand. He was just a little bit outside of my lead arm, and a right hand
Mm-hmm.
kinda hit me right on the ear, maybe the back of the head, you know, like side of the head. And I felt my legs kind of wobble a little bit. I caught my composure pretty quick. Like it didn't really it's not like I was like close to going out, but it definitely wobbled me a little bit. And then the knee worried me because there was a
Yeah.
knee into the last round because when he hit me with a knee, it didn't rock me, but my face got really hot all of a sudden, and I thought he broke my nose because I felt it got really hot from all the blood. I felt all the blood start running, but he actually ended up like ripping my nostril. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh,
I had to get stitches all on like it like ripped my nostril off of the middle of my nose almost. Um, so I had to get a bunch of stitches, you know, not a bunch, it was a couple of them, but
yeah.
to get some stitches up in there. I thought that he broke my nose. So that was like the two cleanest shots of the fight that I remember. But man, he hit me with a couple body shots. I mean, he was hitting me with some good stuff. So um yeah, man, he's good. I think that he's gonna do really well.
I mean, were you expecting more grappling in that fight, or when you got offered Gage Young, were you like, this is going to be a stand-up war, and that's just.
Yeah, you know, I really wasn't putting too much weight on I really try not to put too much weight on like how I expect the fight to go because it's really
Mm-hmm.
easy for you to anticipate anticipate it going one way and then you get in there and none of that stuff ever happens and it goes completely contrary to what you thought. So I try to just be maximally prepared for whatever's going to happen. And of course, you know, I game plan deeply and like expect things to go certain ways. But um with Gage, I really thought that I was going to be able to negate the grappling.
Yeah.
If anything, I thought that I might have done a little bit more grappling, but I was finding success on the feet. My coaches in between rounds, I asked them in between the first round, I asked them like, "How are we looking? Is the striking fine, or do I need to be trying to grab a takedown?" And they're like, "No, don't even worry about the takedown. You're clearly winning the striking." They thought I was going to get a finish too. They were like, "Just keep doing what you're doing." So I shot a takedown in the middle of the second round. Uh, I really just threw it out there just to keep them guessing, just because I had, you know, there hadn't really been any grappling, so I wanted them to
Yeah.
remind them that, you know, that's a possibility. So but yeah, you know, it played out pretty, you know, like I said, kind of, I think it played out pretty similar to how I would have expected. And, you know, like I said, I kind of hoped and figured I was going to be able to get a finish on whoever I was fighting, you know. So that's the one thing I would say it didn't happen the way I expected. It went the distance. I was really hoping to get a finish. I'm always ready for it to go the distance. You know, we have to prepare for worst case scenario, you know,
Yeah.
us going three brutal rounds or five, you know, if it's champion stuff. But um yeah, I think that it went pretty close to how I expected.
Yeah, I mean, I just watched that fight back, I believe, 2 days ago. And that first round, you were busting him up a lot with calf kicks, which I was like, oof. Like I remember watching that fight live. I was like, he might finish him with calf kicks. But I think that fight's an early fight of the year contender. I mean, we still have what 7 months left to go in the year, so we're gonna see. But I think that was a really good fight, and I think
Thank
Gage
you.
Young really showed out too.
Yeah, you did, dude, especially short notice. You know, I know what that situation is like and it's a hard situation to handle and he handled it really well, I think.
Yeah,
And so, yeah, I think he's gonna go on to do some good things and hopefully make that win age well for me, you know.
I mean, yeah, now you're on a 3-fight win streak. Gage Young, Darius Flowers, and I forget the other dude. I don't know. I don't even
Uh,
think he's still in the UFC, but
Genaro Valdez. Yeah, no,
Bernardo
he,
Valdez.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, you're on a 3-fight win streak. Two of them by finish, I believe. The first two, Bernardo Valdez. I believe you got a
No,
submission.
Valdez went to decision
Oh,
also.
it did?
Yeah,
Dang, I
yeah.
don't know why I thought you guillotined him.
No, no, they're really close to the beginning of the first round. I dropped him in the first like 20 seconds, and then
Yeah,
I
that's what it
fired
was.
the guillotine, and but he got out. So it was close to getting finished pretty quick, but I didn't get the finish. That
Yeah,
dude. Speaking of tough as nails, that dude. Go watch that fight back, and dude, I felt like I hit that dude with some shots.
yeah,
He ate up my calf in that fight too. You know, it was a good fight, man. It was a really good fight. I thought I mean, we were really close to getting fight of the night. So, um, fortunately, you know, I think that I've only had one performance. I've only had one fight of the night bonus with Nazim Sadikov. But been really close a couple times. So I'm I'm hoping to keep putting on exciting fights and keep getting these I mean, I hope they turn into performance bonuses, not just fight of the
yeah.
night. You know, I hope that I'm just starting to start starching people, but I'm always gonna be bringing the fight. So expect action every time I get in there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you just brought up the Nazim Sadikov fight. Obviously, that ended by doctor stoppage. In my opinion, I thought you were up 2-0 on rounds. Did you think it was bad enough to be stopped? Because when you look at it in the fight, it's like he should be good to go. I mean, we've seen
Yeah,
worse. Drew
yeah.
Dober
When
versus Sean Silva. Like,
Yeah, whenever the fight got stopped, I was devastated, bro. I was just like, there was because actually when it happened, I got cut and
mm,
I felt the blood. I thought the cut was higher for some reason. And I thought the blood, I felt it on my eyebrow, but I thought that was just the blood running down from the cut. I didn't think it was the cut itself. So then as the doctor was coming in the cage, one of my cornermen, Tuco, he was like, Ev, you can see. And I was like, damn right, I can see. I'm good. Like, they ain't stopping this fight. Like, I'm good.
yeah,
And dude, they took one look at it. They took one glance. They were like, oh yeah, it's over. And I was like, oh my gosh, what? Uh, but yeah, after seeing it, you know, I was like, man, you know what? They're just doing their job. It is what it is. And, you know, God works in funny ways, man. I think that he works in I think that it almost got me more eyeballs because people were kind of upset for me because
yeah,
most people thought that I was up, you know, 2-0. All three judges had it scored 2-0 for me the first two rounds. And a lot of people felt like they took my chance away to get my, you know, first UFC win. And but then, you know, we ended up getting fight of the night bonus. I'm real good friends with Nazim now, you know, that's my boy. So I'm super happy that you know, he still got the win. You know, he's got an unblemished record in the UFC still.
yeah,
So man, it everything ends up working out how it's supposed to. So yeah, I thought that in the fight, I thought that there was no way they were stopping the fight. But after I saw it, I was like, I get it. You know, it's you could the problem was you could see an artery through the cut. Was
yeah.
you could see like one of the, you know, a big vein sticking through, and they were like, dude, if that gets hit, it's gonna be just spraying straight out.
Brand.
Yeah, so they're like, we can't have that. And I was like,
Yeah.
it is what it is. I shouldn't let that knee hit me. So
Would you be open to it? I know you just said you and Nazim are boys, but since that's the way the fight ended, would you be open to a rematch?
man, I really wouldn't want to, unless it was like title contender type stuff, you know. Like I
Yeah,
think I got that fight out of the way. If it comes to it down the road, you know, for like for the belt, you know, maybe, but yeah, I think right now we don't really need to just because there's so many other fights that can happen. Um, I don't think our paths need to cross again, at least, you know, in the near future. So, you know, we'll continue to see how our careers play out. And, you know, if that comes down to it, I'm sure that me and him are cool enough to where
yeah.
we're like, bro, this is what it is, man. You know, it's all love and respect no matter what. So, but as of right now, bro, I don't think it's even I don't even think it I don't think it's going to happen in the near future, so I don't even worry about that.
I mean, what are your thoughts on his upcoming fight? I believe at UC Baku against Nicholas Mota. I
Yeah,
forget
that's
how
really
to.
good, man. Yeah, bro, that's a really good fight. Nicholas Mota is really heavy-handed.
Yeah,
Nazim likes to bang, so I do think Nazim is the cleaner striker. I think he's going to be a little bit quicker. But Mota's got heavy hands, man. He's got good striking. So I hope Nazim doesn't get caught in the pocket, but I do think Nazim is the more well-rounded overall better fighter. I
Yeah,
do him getting the victory. Whether it's by, whether it's by finish or decision. Um, but yeah, that's gonna be a good fight, and I'm excited for Nazim for that because this is I think this is the first time they ever went to Azerbaijan where
yeah, yeah, yeah,
where they're from him and Rafael Fiziev, I believe. So
yeah.
I haven't even really seen the card for that. I don't know who all is fighting, but I would imagine they're trying to put Rafael Fiziev on there. Have you seen? Do you know if he's
Yeah,
got a
he's Fiziev co-main again, with Bob Mendes.
Oh
He's
shoot.
co-main
Okay,
with Bob
let's
Mendes.
go. Let's
Main
go.
event is Jamal Hill and Khalil Roundtree.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
why that's the main event. They're both from the U.S., but I mean, hey,
Yeah,
it's a good
yeah.
fight.
Yeah, I figured they would have Rafael Fiziev headline it, but maybe I mean it looks like they're going to make a pretty big card out of it because that just
Yeah,
those two fights alone are good fights. The Nazim and Moda, um, Rafa and Bahamunez and Khalil and
Khalil and Hill.
Jamal. So
Shout out Jamal.
yeah, yeah, I think that Uh, they were supposed to fight. I think they were supposed to fight on the Kansas City card, Jamal and
Yeah,
Khalid, and then something happened. I think Jamal might have got hurt, and then so they moved it. But so I guess they were just trying to keep that same fight, and they were like, we'll just throw it over here. So,
I think if I'm not mistaken, they were meant to fight at 303, and then it
mm,
got canceled, and then Kansas, and now it's this, which is just
mm.
weird. That
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
weird. It's weird. I guess third time's the charm with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll see. I hope so, man. That's a good fight. That's
It
a good fight.
is. It's a really good fight,
Yeah,
especially if Khalil wins. He's right there.
yeah. He's gonna be back in title contention, huh?
Yeah, I mean him and Pereira, dude. That was an insane fight.
Yeah, that was sick, man.
I mean, like I said earlier, you're now on a 3 fight win streak. Are you looking? When are you looking to get back in there? Do you have a certain person in mind?
I don't have any opponent necessarily in mind. Um, but I would love to get back in there. I'm hoping to get two more before the end of the year. My
Yeah,
UFC career or my UFC career has been pretty slow, as far as like how frequently I've been fighting. And I think it has to, some to do with just the amount of people that there are on the roster, especially our division. We have the deepest division in the whole UFC. So
yeah.
I think it just takes a while to kind of cycle back through everybody and get people fights again. So I'm not too worried about it just because I know that it's just giving me more and more time to improve. The longer in between fights that I have, the better version of myself I'm going to bring to the cage, and the more action I'm going to bring. And so I would like to hopefully fight like August.
Hmm.
Yeah, like August, September maybe. And then hopefully get one more in December before the end of the year and have,
Yeah.
three this year. And it would be really cool, man, if we got two more this year and won both of those and went into 2026 on a 5-fight win streak. I think I'd be starting to knock on the door of looking at like
Top
top 15.
15,
Yeah. Yes,
top
sir.
15. You and Manuel Torres would be fun,
Oh man. Yeah, that'd be
dude.
crazy. That'd be
You and
crazy.
Manuel.
Yeah, he's
They
he's
should
a
do that
dog,
on
man. He
the
finishes
spear
everybody,
card.
bro.
320.
What's that?
You just said August, September, 320. You versus Manuel Torres.
What 320? What is that? What card?
That's the September pay-per-view. It's the Mexican one.
Ah, shoot. Okay. Damn,
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see.
You and Manuel Torres in Mexico City would be cool. I mean, you just said earlier Tuco Tokos, right? That's what you're talking about, cornerman.
Yep.
So you train at Kill FC. You train with the likes of Tuco Tokos, Brenda Allen, Gilbert Burns, Michael Chandler, Logan Storley, all those good guys. Like, so many phenomenal fighters. Michael Johnson too. I mean, how is since you've been at the gym, how has it helped you evolve your MMA game and like really try to hit your prime?
Yeah, I haven't been at Killcliff for about a year. I'm out in Vegas now.
Oh,
Mostly just training at the PI, but I was at Killcliff for 5 years. That's where
yeah,
I mean, dude, I owe them all of my most of my career has been spent there, and almost all of my um my foundation comes from there, you know. So I feel like I
Yeah,
really learned more than anything from them. I learned how to fight, you know, like there's a big difference. I think there's two sides of fighting. There's martial arts and then there's fighting. And you can know all the martial arts technique and stuff that you want. But if you're not a savage and you're not able to bite down on your mouthpiece and get nasty with it and willing to get hurt, willing to hurt somebody, that's the fighting part. And you know, the martial arts part has to be stacked on top of that. So I looked at myself more as you know, I think I've always been I've always been a tough fighter. I've always been willing to
yeah,
fight. And but man, once I got down to Kill Cliff, I was like, oh, I'm not anywhere close to these guys' level on doggedness, you know, like that willingness to just fucking bite down and scrap. So
yeah,
I think I was a decent martial artist, but then I really learned how to fight down there. And there's a big difference between those two. And not being able to fight when you fight somebody, when you fight somebody that is a that is willing to bite down on their mouthpiece and take shots and to be there no matter what, it affects the way that you're able to apply your martial arts, you know. So you
yeah.
have to have both. So, anyways, more than anything, you know, I think that I mean I learned so much from being there. And but dude, being around those guys, I was bro, I was a nail every day for
Yeah.
5 years, you know, the whole time I was there. It never really changed, you know. So I got nothing but absolute love and respect for everybody there, and still consider those guys, you know, my guys and pretty much my team, you know. So I just my body was getting really broken. I was just training incorrectly my whole life. It
Hmm.
was just a complete me problem. I had overtrained and not been smart enough with my approach and my philosophy towards training to where I was just going in the gym and emptying the gas tank every day. And
Yeah,
it's hard to just redline like that every single day. Eventually it's going to lead to, you know, some injuries and overcompensations and nagging injuries and things that are just aren't going away, and they turn into like serious issues. So that's kind of where I was at. I had a bunch of serious issues going on. So I was like, man, you
yeah,
know, I need to move away. I need to go do something different so I can just take the time that I need in order to get as healthy as possible. And so I just moved out here to Vegas so I could utilize the UFC PI and all the resources here, and been absolutely loving it, man. Really have got my body healthy. I'm doing way better, not getting injured, and way more flexible, mobile. But dude, my back was so bad for a while, I had to completely stop kicking. And
yeah,
you know, as you can see, my last fight, you know, my kicks are one of my favorite tools. So I really I knew I needed to get my body figured out. So I'm happy to have done that. It's still a work in progress, always will be. But yeah, but man, being with those guys down at Killcliff, man, that's they taught me pretty much everything I know about fighting.
yeah. I mean, really quick, could you clarify what gym you train at? Because on all the MMA websites that I went to, like Tapology and all that, it said Kill Cliff. So I was
Yeah,
like, and then I seen like some thing from the UFC was like Vegas. So I was like, wait, this is Vegas, but this is Tapology. So I tried like doing research, like what Vegas gym does Evan Elder train at? And it just said
yeah,
Vegas. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna say Kill Cliff because that's like the only
yeah.
gym I
No,
could like find.
nah, it's all good, bro. Yeah, I've been in Vegas for about a year, so it's been about a year since I've been at Killcliff, maybe a
Yeah.
little. But I was training at Syndicate for the first couple months I was here. But now I'm basically just training at the PI. I got, you know,
Okay.
I've worth just kind of get smaller group sessions together. You know, we
Yep.
got a people that pretty much trains there every day. And but so I'm not really, I guess I wouldn't say I have an actual gym that I train at. I train at the UFC PI. So maybe one day we'll get a, name and you know, a name for our team, our squad. But
Yeah.
for now, it's just a big collective of guys and girls just getting together at the PI every day and working together.
I mean, yeah, I feel like what you said with Killcliff, like the people there, like they're some of the nicest fighters. Like Tuco
Oh, they're dope,
Tokos.
dude.
I've had on the channel with Tuco Tokos. I've had like not DMs, but like I go up Burns and like what's his name? Forgot his name. Brendan Allen. I
Hmm.
like interacted with my story. They're super nice. I love all the guys at Killcliff. They're some of my
Yeah,
favorite fighters. You
dude,
know,
they're the
Michael
best.
Johnson took a photo of me at UFC Tampa. I love them, bro. They're so nice.
Yeah, all those guys you just named, bro, are just, dude. Tuco is literally like one of my one of my best friends, bro. He's the
Tuco's
coolest,
so cool.
bro. He's the coolest dude. B Allen, that's my boy. Michael Johnson, all those guys, man. They're fucking. not just amazing fighters, but just incredible people, So,
Yeah,
incredibly thankful, grateful for shoot every opportunity I've had in my life, but especially to be down there at Kill Cliff with such monsters to help me to um help me to learn the ins and outs of this stuff, man, and to be role models and somebody I look up to and aspire to be.
yeah. I mean, I saw Tuco Togo's fight at UFC Tampa. I live in Tampa, so it was like a 5 minute
Oh
drive
no.
from. But I remember during the second round, or like it was the first, everybody was booing Tuco. So I
Yeah.
literally, I had a floor seat, so I just started chanting, "Let's go Tuco," and I got like
Hey,
my whole section to chant it. And then
let's
um,
go.
and then he lost, and everybody was like, "Man, why you like Tuco?" And I was like, "Tuco, my dog. He was on the channel."
Yeah,
And it was like,
let's go.
"Oh, yeah."
Yeah.
So Tuco. I was nervous to interview Tuco too. I was nervous.
How come?
I was like, "Oh, I don't know how this is gonna go." But he's
From the
such a
way he
nice dude.
looked?
He just looks like someone that like doesn't like interviews. So I was
Yeah.
nervous, but he was so nice. I was like, "Dang."
Nah, he's the dopest. Yeah, he's super dope.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, early in the interview, you said that you said something, you talking about the lightweight division, how stacked it is right now. How do you think it compares to the previous generations, like the Khabib generation, the BJ Penn generation, the Conor McGregor generation, the Tony Ferguson generation, even?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that generation, I feel like is not very far removed.
Yeah,
Like we're like, Khabib and Connor, Tony, all those guys. They've had fights within the last couple years. Obviously Khabib and Connor maybe a little bit further out, but
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
I think that it's just the natural progression of anything in life,
Mm-hmm.
but especially something like this sport that is so ultra competitive that it's going to continue to evolve and grow to
Yeah,
new heights and new levels. And in order to compete at the highest level, you're going to have to get better and better and better. And I think that's what we're seeing. We're seeing guys like Ilya Taporia, Islam Makhachev, Charles Oliveira, guys that are just like the best that
DP.
we've ever seen. It's the best that we've ever seen. So,
Yeah,
of course, Khabib and Connor, they would
Poirier.
still
Yeah,
be able to compete with any of these guys. But I think that the talent now is going to continue to evolve. Just as the natural progression of anything, it's not like it's actually a debate that I kind of one debate that I kind of dislike is like hearing people talk about the greats throughout different eras, like
yeah,
who's better, Michael Jordan or LeBron James or Kobe or whatever, and it's like but especially for fighting, like you look back and people are like like all the greats, Forrest Griffin and Chuck Liddell and GSP and all these guys, and people compare them and they're like, man, yeah, they wouldn't even, they aren't as good as the people of today. And
yeah.
truthfully, even if that's true, maybe it is true. Like I said, it's the natural progression of anything is to evolve and get better. So, but if it wasn't for those guys, we wouldn't be able to evolve past where they were. I think, especially as martial artists, our whole goal is to become the greatest version of ourselves as possible, and then to pass that information on down to the younger generations in order to help them improve faster than we did to get better
Yeah,
and eventually surpass whatever level of greatness we ever achieve. So the next generation should always be better than the following, hopefully, if the previous generation did their job, so um I think that a lot of times the the comparison between different generations really almost isn't even fair, because if it wasn't for the previous generation, this current generation wouldn't be as good as they are. And
yeah,
I think that if you found a way to be the best at any time period, you were the best, and
yeah,
you would have done the exact same thing with a different set of resources and skills and tools, and found a way to be the best in this time period as well.
yeah,
I think that with those guys that found a way to be the best in their time period, they gave us a blueprint, gave us an understanding of how to get to where they were, and tools and the process and everything else in order to get there. And then so then the next generation is able to do that quicker and easier. So Yeah, I don't know. I think the current generation is the best generation yet, and I think the next one's gonna be better than that.
I mean, I feel like the people like Justin Gaethje, how you said Charles Oliveira does support the people that are able to go from the Khabib generation to now the Islam generation to maybe the Ilya generation with this with the title fight with Ilya and Charles, like, and they're able to stay in that top three, that top five, fighting the up and comers, the Fizievs, the Patty Pimlets, the BSDs. You know, it's easy to stay in one generation, but when they're able to move multiple generations and still stay at that top, and they show like a little decrease in one fight, and then they come back 10 times better. It's like, dang, I thought they were aging, but now they look better than their younger prime. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, man, always finding the greats are just always going to be the ones that are finding a way to continue to progress and improve
Yeah,
all the time, you know.
I mean, let's move to this title fight, right? Ilya Sporia, Charles Oliveira, main event of UFC 317 for the vacant title. What is your prediction? How do you see that fight going? Do you think Do you think that Charles Oliveira deserves this vacant title fight over Arman Sarukian, who is rightfully the number one contender?
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's tough. First off, I guess the prediction, I don't really have a prediction. I'm just excited to see the way it plays out.
Yeah.
I think that two things. I'm excited to see if Charles gets to test Ilya's grappling.
Hmm.
And two, I think that Charles's tight guard, keeping his hands nice and tight, might be a deficit, kind of kind of be to his detriment with Ilya's style. Because Ilya, I feel like really kind of he stays low and
Hmm.
he's usually trying to walk his way into position and find your body first. That way he's properly put himself in position to find the kill shot to
To
the head.
crack that chin. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's not going to try to just overextend and reach from a far range. So, anyways, somebody like Max Holloway was doing a really good job staying long with this guard and giving him stuff to constantly work through. He always has
Hmm.
something to like get around, right?
Yeah.
When you're back here, it's much easier for him to close that distance and find his way to your body faster. So I worry about that with the striking. I'm interested to see how Charles tries to negate that, whether it's through, the teep kicks, because he has a little bit more of an upright Muay Thai style. If he's gonna get a little bit longer with that lead hand and really keep that jab pumping. But yeah, I think that I'm excited to see how the striking plays out, and then also how the if I hope we get to see some grappling in this fight because I want to see if Ilya's grappling can withstand literally one of the best grapplers
Yeah.
in not just the division but the UFC.
Yeah. I
What
mean,
what was the other question? What else?
oh, do you believe that Charles Oliveira should fight for the vacant title
Mm,
over Arman Sarukian?
that's right. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like probably not. I feel like
Yeah.
Armin probably deserves it, but I guess maybe he shot himself in the foot with like pulling out.
Hmm.
Maybe that's why they gave it to Charles. Because I know that's like a big issue, man. That's it that really
Pulling out
hurts.
24 hours before. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that really
It's
sucks.
insane.
But man, I mean, dude, it's the fight game, dude. I understand. Like
Yeah.
dude, it's impossible to account for all the variables of all this stuff. So you never know what's gonna happen.
Dude, I remember waking up. I believe I was waking. It was a Friday morning. I woke up for school. I remember I was like, man, let me check Instagram. First thing, Mr. Rookie had a title fight. I was like, no way, bruh.
Yeah, dude,
No
that
way.
was gonna be such a good one too, man.
I mean, yeah, and like with Ilya versus Charles, I love Charles Oliveira. I think he's gonna get really, really hurt. I mean, it's
Islam and JDM.
no, Charles and Ilya. I
Oh,
don't.
I'm sorry.
I think Ilya gets him out there in round one. I mean, if Charles getting dropped by Gaethje and Poirier in round one, I just don't
Yeah.
see a world where he goes out there and survives on the feet for 5 minutes with Ilya Taporia.
Yeah, he might
I
dude,
hope he
who knows?
does though. I love Charles and I don't like Ilya, so I hope
Yeah.
he does. But
Oh, you don't like Ilya?
no, because he beat up Josh
Uh,
Emmett. He beat
oh,
up
okay.
Josh Emmett and knocked out Volk and knocked out Holloway. I was like, man, you got to
Yeah,
get knocked
he's
out
good,
turn.
man.
It's your
He's,
turn.
he's good. He's good.
He's really good. He's really and his jiu-jitsu is so underrated. We don't even get to see it.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
so
I
insane
believe
how good he is.
I would really doubt that he is lacking in the grappling department. For how good he is, dude, I highly doubt that he's not almost equally as skilled on the ground.
I mean, like To be honest, I think Ilya submits Charles. I don't think Charles submits Ilya. I think Ilya would submit Charles. I mean, we've seen Charles quit in fights. What? Uh, I think the Holloway thing was an injury, but right when he felt whatever, he just hold his shoulder and quit. Paul Felder, he quit. He tapped to Islam. I think this is like a very easy fight for Ilya, and I love Charles, but you know,
Yeah. I don't know about an easy fight, but it's definitely a very winnable fight for
favorable. I think is the
yeah.
word.
Yeah. But is anything else, bro? I gotta get running here in just a minute.
All right, I got one more question for you, man.
Yeah, let me get it.
So, what is your favorite? Oh, sorry, that's not the question. Do you have a message for your fans that have followed you throughout your career, and what can we expect from Evan Elder inside and outside the octagon in 2025?
Message to my fans that have followed me throughout my career, man. Just always just a deeply heartfelt thank you, and I love you guys. And couldn't do this stuff without you guys, and I wouldn't want to do this stuff without you guys. I really believe I have a purpose much greater than just fighting,
Yes,
and
sir.
it's I mean, just to positively impact the world and other people's lives as much as possible, and to really try to truly live my life to its absolute fullest and to be the best version of myself and inspire others to make the most of their lives, So I hope that I can do that, and I guess that's what you can expect from me in and out of the cage is to be giving everything I've got at all times in and out of the cage. And I hope that things continue to go well, and I hope that one day, man, I'm able to conquer this game and to have the platform and the resources to do an immense amount of good and have some really dope shit happen in this life, man. Not just for me, but for a lot of people. Because I promise, man, if I get to where I want to be, we're all gonna be winning. We're gonna have some cool shit going on.
Yes, sir. Maybe one day I watch Evan Elder defend his lightweight title, and I'm a UFC commentator. That would be
Let's
dope.
go. Hey, you can do it, man. Put every ounce of your being into it, bro.
Thank
Be
you.
better everywhere. Not just in exactly what you're doing, but in everything else in life. How you do one thing is how you do anything.
Yes, sir. Thank you for getting on the channel, bro. I appreciate you. One of the most underrated lightweight prospects in the UFC, Evan the Phenom Elder, everybody. Also, I'm sorry my dogs were barking. You
Oh,
know,
bro, I couldn't even tell.
oh,
I
you
couldn't even.
couldn't? Okay, because I
No,
was sitting here the entire time, like, bro, I need y'all to be quiet.
no, you're good, bro. I couldn't even
But
tell. I couldn't even tell.
all right, man.
Yeah,
Thank you for
thank
your
you so
time.
much,
God
bro.
bless.
I appreciate it, man. I'm happy for you. I'm inspired that you're chasing your own greatness. Never stop, and it's gonna be a tough road, man. It's never easy, but it is always worth it, bro. So don't ever stop.
Yes, sir. Thank you, bro. I appreciate your
All
time.
right. Peace out, brother. I'll see you soon, okay?
All right, yes, sir. Thank you.
Peace.